Gen Z believes that they're becoming more poor than ever. In a recent survey, nearly half of Gen Z respondents said that they do not feel financially secure. In another study, over half say they do not make enough money to live the life they want. And young adults in general are reaching traditional life milestones significantly later than previous generations. For example, less than a quarter of 25 to 34-year-olds today have achieved 4 key markers of adulthood: living independently, being married, having children, and working, compared to nearly half in the 1970s. But is Gen Z really the poorest generation? I mean, what do the numbers say about their wealth compared to past generations? And is there something more going on here? Well, I looked at a lot of data, and you are going to be very surprised at what I found. Gen Z is entering adulthood under a pretty harsh economic environment, to say the least. The issue is that it's not just 1 or 2 hurdles. It seems as though the fundamentals that used to stabilize early adulthood have began to shift out of reach. Now, when you look at Gen Z's wealth, are they actually the poorest generation? Well, it depends at what data you're looking at. But last year, the economists found that millennials were more poor at this stage in their lives, and so were boomers. It found that the typical 25-year-old Gen Z has an annual household income of over $40,000, which, adjusting for inflation, was well above what millennials were making and more than 50% above baby boomers at the same age. That data also shows that current young adult households under 35, which does include some millennials, but still under 35, have a higher median net worth, roughly $38,000 to $42,000, than previous generations did at the same age when you adjust for inflation. This compares to baby boomers in the early 1980s, which was around 15 to 25 grand, and Gen X in the late 1980s and 1990s, which was somewhere around 20 to 30 grand in real terms. However, these figures alone do not paint the full picture of what's happening in the economy today for Gen Z. Housing is probably the biggest pressure point. National home price to income ratios have climbed well above 5 times annual income. And in major metros, for the 3rd time, it's far higher. Young adults today in many areas are priced out before they even have a chance to begin. And even with rent, more than half of renters nationwide are now spending more than 30% of their income on housing. And a startling growing percentage of people now spend more than 50% of their income on rent and utilities. This level of housing stress simply did not exist for earlier generations at the same age. And while pay may look higher, real purchasing power has been eroded by rising costs in many categories like groceries, transportation, insurance, phone plans, utilities. Even with a decent salary, many young adults feel squeezed because they are. A lot of their paychecks don't stretch far enough to create the stability that they're looking for. And of course, debt is it's much higher. Gen Z carries higher student debt obligations, car insurance costs, pretty much all costs across the board are higher. And as we've touched on many times on this channel, the job market right now is pretty unpredictable. Gen Z is the first generation to enter a workforce transformed by automation, AI, and outsourcing. Entry-level roles are beginning to be hollowed out more and more. And there's a growing demand for people to have experience for entry-level jobs, which might be tough for somebody who's just graduated. And so that makes internships much more important. But internships are way more difficult. The competition's very extreme. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants. Companies are continuously restructuring to adapt to this new economy, and it's causing the bottom rung of the career ladder to fracture. The other thing that needs to be noted is social media amplifies comparison, making everybody else's life look more rich than you, more stable than you, less anxious than you. Studies have shown consistently that Gen Z reports lower financial security, higher stress, and a greater sense of being left behind than any generation before them. So what has happened? Why have things become so tough for Gen Z? There's a lot of things that have caused a divide over where young adults feel they should be financially and where they actually are. And we've touched on them a lot already. But to bring it all together, it's probably a oversimplification, but I'm gonna try anyway. Gen Z faces a challenging environment due to the basic costs of life going up much faster than paychecks. Now, does Gen Z feel more poor than they actually are? Despite facing one of the toughest economic conditions of any young generation, Gen Z is also way more financially informed and financially engaged than any group that has come before them. And weirdly, that can actually make them feel more poor than they actually are. First, Gen Z invests earlier and more often. According to the 2024 Charles Schwab Modern Wealth Survey, Gen Z adults began investing at age 19 on average. This is significantly younger than baby boomers, who began investing at an age of 35, and even millennials, who started around 25. With the rise of brokerage apps, digital wallets, and automated investing platforms, Gen Z has a much clearer path to start building wealth at a much younger age. Gen Z also tracks their finances obsessively. Data from Bank of America shows that Gen Z is the generation most likely to budget, monitor spending with apps, automate savings, and regularly check their credit score. However, with this heightened financial literacy comes a much more heightened awareness of their financial status, or lack thereof. Gen Z has real-time financial dashboards that boomers and Gen X just never had. That transparency is helpful, but it also means that every shortfall is visible. When older generations were in their 20s, they weren't opening an app to see that they saved $112 this month. They didn't constantly compare their net worth to others. Gen Z does, and it magnifies the feeling of falling behind. They are aware of what a healthy emergency fund looks like. They know what recommended savings rates are. They know how compound interest works. But when you are constantly seeing salary reveals or home tours or travel or business revenue screenshots of Shopify or whatever, you start to think, what the heck am I doing wrong? They didn't have access to housing market data or these financial independence calculators or comparison videos telling you where you should be at your age. Gen Z does, and it shapes the perception of being ahead or behind, even when the data shows that they're participating in wealth building way earlier than past generations. Gen Z may feel more poor because they're more educated, more engaged, more exposed, and more financially plugged in than any generation before. They're not wandering blindly through early adulthood. They're fully aware of the gap between where they want to be and where they believe they should be and where they believe they are. So if you're Gen Z, how can you still win? Even with this very tough starting point that Gen Z has, they are far from powerless. A lot of the tactics that we're about to touch on to get ahead are things I talk about all the time in my newsletter, which you can check out in the description below. Now, the first clear advantage that Gen Z has is that they can learn about money, investing, career strategy, fairly instantly. I mean, you're watching YouTube right now, and if you're a Gen Z and you've made it this far, clearly this is not the first bit of content you've consumed on personal finance or career stuff. All the knowledge you could ever need to be successful is here for you among other platforms, something prior generations couldn't have dreamed of. And again, data shows that Gen Z adults are already investing in the markets, auto-investing even $25 to $50 every paycheck in something like a broad index fund that compounds in the background. It can really make a difference over the years. And if you give that 40 to 50 years of compounding, it turns into something really special. Mobility is also another major edge. The old model of staying at one company and just hoping for a promotion is not what it used to be, to say the least. Gen Z exists in an environment where they are more willing to chase higher income through job changes, and the environment is more accepting of that than it was in the past. It's much less taboo to jump around, assuming they don't do it too often. And historically, this has led to a higher income. They're also investing in some of the lowest cost environments for investment products in history. Vanguard's 2024 fee analysis showed that the average fund expense ratio had fallen to 0.07%, which was the lowest on record. Boomers routinely paid 1% to 2%, if not 3% in fees to brokers and mutual funds, which could have led and probably did lead to hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million plus in fees that they probably didn't need to pay. That means Gen Z is going to keep almost all of their investment returns. Having something that's automated that takes a portion of your paycheck and just puts it away for you in something low cost and responsible is just an advantage that didn't exist ever before. Where Gen Z earns income is also another advantage. A recent study found that 35% of Gen Z already earns money outside their main job, far more than Millennials or Gen X did in their 20s. The gig economy allows people to earn much more money outside a traditional job through things like freelancing and online services. These income streams require little startup capital and can scale quite quickly with low costs. Even an extra $200 to $400 a month can meaningfully boost savings rates, especially in an era where fixed costs are quite high. This just did not exist for past generations. If they were out of a job, most of them were out of luck for earning a living at all. It's not true anymore. And ultimately, time is still on Gen Z's side. Fidelity's 2024 Retirement Insights report found that Gen Z workers have higher average 401k participation rates than Millennials did in their 20s, and they contribute earlier. Across decades, earlier contributions and skill building can offset short-term economic challenges. Boomers, of course, had affordability, but they lacked information. Gen Z faces affordability issues, but they have the information and the automation and free investing tools and global earning opportunities. Over a lifetime, these levers can compound just as powerfully. Gen Z didn't create the housing shortage or wage stagnation or the rising cost of living. They inherited a system with some fractured fundamentals. But they're also the first generation to enter adulthood with full access to knowledge, strategy, and digital tools needed to navigate it. The early rungs of the career ladder may be cracking, but Gen Z is still climbing. A point I really want to make here is that there's a lot of things beyond the economic environment that weren't nearly as good over the past few decades as they are now. A lot that I could spend all video listing. But overall, I just think it's too simplistic to talk about the good old days and ignore the advancements that we've made and the tools we have at our disposal today. For Gen Z to win financially, they pretty much need to continue doing the things they're already doing, making themselves extremely financially literate, investing early and often, finding new ways to earn income outside of corporate work, and building their skill set as best as they can using online resources to upscale themselves so that they can go and earn more money in their career or their business. I also think the aspect of home ownership being a luxury now is unfortunate, but there's a really strong financial argument for renting and investing the difference versus owning a home in general. Locking up all that money in an overpriced property could actually set a lot of Gen Z folks back, and some did get caught up with that in 2021. Being nimble, investing in the markets, focusing on your career, and investing in yourself, to me, is the way forward. And many young adults already realize that and are already working on it. So while comparison can sometimes creep up on this generation, the truth is that they are equipping themselves to earn more income throughout their lives. And I have the utmost confidence that eventually they will reach economic stability and get through this period.